My signature look is something that I call angel makeup. It's ethereal, soft, and glowy, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I do it. Now, angel makeup is very ethereal and glowy. It's gonna make you look like a Victoria's Secret angel. So it's very important that we prep our skin really well because we don't wanna look crusty, dusty, and musty. We wanna look glowy and radiant. I have 3 things that I'm gonna prep my skin with. So the first thing is the Multi-Balm Stick from Dabla. I'm gonna put this underneath my eyes because, guys, my eyes get really dry. So it's a little balm stick, which is really good if you do have areas that you get more dry. So in these folds, if you had some little dry patches over here, and then you can put your concealer right on top and it's gonna stay hydrated instead of putting it over top of dry skin. So I start with that. Next, I'm gonna go in with the Bubble Serum. I love this, it's very hydrating. So I'm gonna do 3 pumps. Now, once you have your skin prep on, it's really important to let it soak into the skin. So I'll probably work on my eyebrows. Sometimes I work on my client's eyes as the skin prep is soaking in so that by the time I go to put their foundation on, their skin is all ready. So I wouldn't want to put foundation directly on top of this. Give it about 3 minutes. The final step is spraying the Dabla For Serum Spray. This is super hydrating and I'm gonna use this a few times throughout the application. So you can prep with it, you can set with it, and then there are a few areas that you can melt your powders down to blend out your contour or your cream blush if you're having any issues and you want it to be a little bit easier to move around the face, you can just spray this. So I'm gonna use a few pumps of this. It smells so good and it also feels so hydrating. I always use it on my clients. And as soon as I spray it, they're like, oh, I feel like I'm at the spa. It's just such, it helps their skin and it also helps them to relax. I always use a eyebrow pencil. This is the Sephora Collection pencil in medium brown. Now I have all the colors. I actually keep an extra one in my kit. So I have my actual one that I'm using. And then I have one that's not opened in my kit just in case, because you can't really tell if these are gonna run out. So I always have a backup, but I have this in pretty much every single shade from Sephora that I use in my kit. Also, my skin looks a little irritated right now, but it's because I dermaplaned and then I put a serum directly on top this morning and I literally felt like my face was gonna burn off. So anytime I've put anything besides water on it today, it has went a little crazy. So don't dermaplane and then put a serum directly on top unless it had a lot of vitamin C in it. So unless you want your skin to burn, don't do that. I'm gonna try not to make my eyebrows too dark today because now that I have darker hair, I was filling in my eyebrows a little bit too dark. So I'm doing little hair strokes to fill them in and I'm trying to make them not as bold. So I'm being lighter with my pressure. And just keep in mind, you don't need to do things in the exact order that I do them. If you want to do your eyebrows last, you totally can. This is just the way that I have started doing makeup, and now I do it the exact same way every single time, but it really doesn't matter. So my skin is ready for foundation now. It's been a few minutes. It's really soaked in. It's still a little bit slimy, and it's nice and hydrated. This is something I've been doing a lot. I'm mixing my foundation with a radiance booster. So I'm going to do 50% and 50%. Now, because my skin is really red right now, I might actually need a little more foundation, so we'll see. I just posted about these Amazon brushes. I will link them below. I have a huge set and it was only $20, and the brushes, they look exactly like the Hourglass brushes. They are beautiful. I've been using them and absolutely love them. So I'm gonna put 3 drops of my foundation. Okay, let's do 4 drops. And then I'm going to take my Radiance Booster, which is the Dior Star Filter. You can use whatever Radiance Booster you want. This is kind of a bougie, 2 big pumps actually. This is kind of a bougie combo. You can literally use drugstore. A lot of the times I use the Rimmel, knocking things over, Rimmel London, the Multitasker. This is a great Radiance Booster, very similar to the Dior. Sometimes I even wear that by itself. So don't feel like you need to have such a bougie combo here. So I do have redness today. If I want to cover my redness, I need to stipple, okay? I can swipe and it'll give me a lighter application. So anytime you want lighter application, do you see how much lighter that is compared to the other side, you're just gonna pull down and add some pressure as you're pulling down. Now, like I said, I'm red, so I'm gonna add another, I'll just do one pump. Trying again. On my clients, I do like to do more medium to full coverage as brides. So it depends on what you want to do. Me personally, for every day, I like less coverage. So I can do a little combo of some taps and then some pulls. Over top of your jawline, just pull down so that you don't need a lot up there. And then same with your forehead. Now, these are the Victoria Beckham foundation drops. They're very expensive. I bought them just to see what all the hype was about, but now I'm addicted. So unless you want to spend like, I don't know, in Canada we pay tax. It was like almost $200 for this bottle of foundation. It is worth it. But don't buy it unless you want this to be part of your routine because, and yes, I do have other foundations that I really like, but for me, for every day, this is very comfortable. It's lightweight. It looks absolutely amazing on my skin. So only buy it if you're bougie and you want to keep up with a $200 foundation. If not, don't even try it because it's like when you go and you're trying on wedding dresses and you have maybe $2,000 budget. Don't try on something that's $10,000 because then you're going to want it. So now I have it and I'm addicted and I need to use it every single day. People stop me in the streets when I have this on. I'm not even kidding. They come up to me and they're like, what is on your skin? Now, if you're someone who's using a brush and you get streaks, just bounce over top of the streak to get rid of it. So if I'm pulling down and then I look and I'm like, oh, I have a lot of streaks, I'll just go and bounce over top with more of a clean brush. So you're not adding product, you're just brushing or kind of getting rid of those little streaks with your bouncing. I have more of a blue purple around my eye, which most people do. If you have really dark circles, this is gonna work as well. So this is the color corrector. It's the Natasha Denona concealer, but it's got a color correcting shade. So you can see the top is more of an orange color. This is in the shade C1. And I link everything on my Like to Know It. I will put the link in the caption so you guys can just go and shop. Don't worry, I'll have everything there for you. So into the tear duct, that's a really important spot, underneath the eye. And I put this on top of my eye. I'm gonna blend this out and show you what a difference this makes. You basically want your concealer brush to be a little mini version of your foundation brush. So on a bit of an angle and short and stiff, this is the A506 from BK Beauty. Now, if I go under my eye and go freaking crazy, I'm not gonna get any coverage. I need to bounce really gently. It's like when you're trying to cover redness, if you swipe and you're really aggressive, it's not gonna cover it. So you can use a more affordable product, something that's not overly expensive, but has good coverage, and it's gonna do a really good job. But it's more about how you apply it rather than the actual product. So now I'm taking my foundation brush and just kind of bouncing over top of this. So you can see, I mean, obviously we're not gonna leave it like this, but look at how much brighter this side looks. So even though it's a color corrector, we are gonna use it as our concealer. One of my favorite setting powders is the Huda Beauty setting powder. This is in the color Pound Cake. I'm gonna take a little fluffy brush and I'm just gonna set the top of my eye so that it doesn't crease as I'm doing the rest of my face. We are going to contour our face. Now I use a contour stick. This one's from Westman Atelier. Again, bougie, you don't need to use this exact one. You could use any of them. This is in the shade Biscuit. I don't want my contour to be crazy, okay? We don't need lines and jagged highlighting and contouring. You want this to be soft, especially if you're being seen in person and this is not like a photo shoot like Kim Kardashian photo shoot that no one's seeing you in person. We want this to be soft. So from the top of your ear to about midway down your face, you can start about right here and you're just gonna pull this up. So everything's going up. Obviously we're drawing it on and then we're gonna blend it out, and I'm gonna put some on my temple, my forehead, above the top of my eyebrow. And this one's a little bit more cool tone, so if I was darker, I would use a more bronzy shade, but I'm really pale right now. So down each side of the nose and then at the end of the nose, just like this. Also be careful, jawline, we can put a little bit on the jawline, but you don't want to get into like heavy contouring there. If you're going to be seeing a person, it will be noticeable. Okay, so there's just no point. Anytime you're blending out a cream product, you want a stiff brush. This one is F4 from Makeup by Mario. You can use whatever one you want. I'm going to take the smaller side and I'm going to start tapping this into the skin. Now, if you want less contour, you're going to add more pressure. The softer you are, and even adding a little swipe is going to make this contour look more natural. Don't forget the jawline, because I have done that many times where I put on the jawline and I completely forget. So I try and get rid of that. Just doing a swipe because I don't want a lot of jawline contour. And then I'm making sure that I'm getting this right up into the hairline. And see these little taps that I'm doing? Bringing it down the temple. So it's kind of going all the way up and around. It's there, but it's very soft. No stripes. For the nose is the same. I don't want a lot of color there, just a little bit. So I'm using a little bit more pressure. This is technically a highlighter. It's from Natasha Denona. It's in the color Unbothered. It's very pretty. It's hard to even see it right now. It's like iridescent. So I'm gonna pick up the other side and I'm gonna scoop right into this. And this is gonna go on the apple of my cheek and up towards my temple. So I'm picking up a little, tapping it into the skin. I like to put some underneath my eye. So we're going blush, contour. And I use contour and bronzer basically the exact same because I do use bronzer as contour. I'm not really into the really gray shades. So bronzer is my contour. See how pretty this is on the skin? It's very sheer because it is a highlight. So it's not gonna, you can really dip into this and it's not gonna put too much color on your face, but it is giving you that youthful glow. I like to add a little bit to the top of my nose as well. We don't want to leave our nose as a little blob, white blob in the middle of our face. So even if you're just tapping a little bit of bronzer on the side, a little bit of blush, just so that it's not so stark white compared to everything else that you have. Now we can set the rest of our face because we do have those cream products on. So I'm picking up another fluffy brush and I'm going to tap underneath my eye and down the sides of my nose. When I'm applying setting powder, I'm really pushing this into the skin because we do want to set it and keep it on for the day. So, and it's translucent, so don't worry about it being too much. It's not going to add any cakiness, which a lot of people are used to more of a colored setting powder. Where do I have it? So these they're basically foundation. They are foundation. It's like a powder foundation. If you were gonna go on with that compared to a translucent powder, you would look very old. So we are just gonna use translucent always. So you can see how much more blurred this side of my face is now that I've done the setting compared to here and around here. I always like to press it on the sides of my nose and also on the top of my nose to keep your makeup on, because a lot of people say that their makeup comes off. So anywhere that you're having struggles with your makeup staying, definitely add the setting powder, and you can see how much more flawless my skin looks now that I have the setting powder on. We're gonna add highlight and stuff on top of this, but you need to set your whole T-zone before you move on. I am gonna pick up a fluffier brush and go in with the color Happy. Love these. These are from Rare Beauty. So pretty. So I'm just gonna tap a little bit. These are a blush, but I consider them a blush topper because if you just go in with this as your blush, you're gonna look crazy because it's very intense. So a little tiny bit, and then we're tapping it over that blush just to intensify it a little bit. So you can see how much more vibrant my blush looks, super glowy and pretty. I put these on pretty much every single bride. You don't need to set your blush and your contour, just your T-zone, even underneath your contour, but not your contour, your blush. I've added my powders, so I'm gonna melt the powders a little bit back with the D'Alba spray. So I'm not gonna add too much, just a little bit. I use powders to set, but then I want my skin to kind of come back alive, so I like to use that kind of in between. This is the Pillow Talk palette from Charlotte Tilbury, and I use it for every single angel makeup that I do. I can't get enough of it. Because it has a brown undertone, it doesn't look too pink. I've tried a few other palettes here and there on people, and it comes off too pink. This one is like a brownie pink. So a nice little fluffy brush. And I'm gonna tap in, obviously I use this color the most, tap into the lightest pink. And this is what's gonna go into my crease. Remember, the theme of this makeup is soft, glowy, and ethereal, so nothing is dark. I'm tapping in just a little, and then I'm doing window wiper motions, back and forth, up above the crease and out towards the temple. This is the color Baby Bunny from Half Magic. It's a really pretty shimmery pink. So this is what I'm gonna do on top of my lid. It's a cream product, so I'm gonna tap it. I don't know if you can see how intense that is. It is so beautiful in person. So I'm just tapping it. Then I'm gonna go in with my finger and just blend it out. So small, delicate little taps. I'm gonna curl my lashes really well. Sometimes I do this twice because I want my lashes to be really long. So I'm going right at the base, pinching, holding that pinch and pumping. Squeeze and then pump. You should be doing this every single time you do your makeup. This is my favorite mascara right now. It's from Clarins. It's the Wander Perfect 4D mascara. Makes my lashes so long. So I want length and I want volume out of this. So what I'm gonna do is take the wand on top of my eyes so that I can really get a lot of length. Then you go from the base and wiggle all the way up so you get that volume. I spend a minute on my lashes. It takes a minute to really pick up all the little baby lashes and make them look really long. So if you're just doing a little beep, beep, no. You gotta spend some time, wiggle, try and pick up all of your lashes, and it takes a little time to make them look long. For underneath my eyes, I'm gonna pick up a tiny little brush and I'm gonna go in with the darker pink. I'm gonna pick this up and put it underneath my lash line. If you like things a little bit lighter, I would skip this step and you can just do the eye without it. It does add a little bit more glam to the eye, even though it's a really soft color. And I am going all the way across. To make this a little bit more glam, we can pick up that brush again and go into the dark pink right here. And we can just add this in the outer 1/4. So it will give a little bit more depth to the eyes. I kind of like it with it, so I'm gonna add that. And it is not dark. It's nice to add some intensity, but not with like a chocolate brown or a black. So when people want something still really soft, I'll use a color like this, just in that outer corner. Now I know we already have a pretty glowy cheek, but we're gonna make it glowier because we are ethereal. This is the color Pink from Dior. So I'm gonna swipe that, look into how intense that is, right on the apple of my cheek and on the top of my cheekbone, right here. We really wanna be a glowing little angel. I'm gonna take that blush brush and just tap that back into the skin. You never want your products to just sit on top of your skin, so you do want to push them in. It just depends on how aggressive you are, depends on the intensity. So same with for foundation. If I'm pushing really hard, I'm going to get less product. And if I'm just really delicate, I'm going to get more intensity. I want a little bit more pink on my cheek. This is Glam by Maja. I'm going to take a little brush and I'm just going to put this kind of underneath my eye right here. A little bit more on the apple of my cheek. So do you see how that's still nice and glowy, but we're getting that more baby doll pink blush. I also like to layer my products. It will help with longevity, and the depth of the makeup looks really nice when you have a few different products on in one spot. We're going in with more glow. Okay, this is my favorite highlighter. It's Clé de Peau in Celestial Spark. Now you can definitely leave it like this, but there's something about this highlighter. 100% worth it. It's expensive, but it's really good. I'm gonna tap in and go right on the apple of my cheek. It's a very angelic kind of highlight. And I'm also gonna take my finger and put this underneath my eyebrow. A little bit on my nose. My other cheek. Just swiping really lightly. I completely forgot eyeliner. This is the color Milk Chocolate from NYX. So I'm gonna put this right on top of my lash line. I'm doing little tiny strokes all the way across. This is my most used lip liner. It is Wherever Walnut from Makeup Forever. I use this on every single client. It's so pretty. So I'm gonna line my lips with this first. Right on top, I'm gonna go in with a Lawless lip gloss in the color Velvet. And you can see that my lips, my cheeks, and my eyes are all within the same tone. If you're struggling to make your makeup look good, it might be that your cheek is too different than your eye or your lip. So try to keep them all within the same tone and just match them up, and your makeup will automatically look more modern and fresh. So this is my finished angel makeup look. And like I said, I'm gonna link everything down below so you don't have to go searching. It'll be all in one spot.